Who doesn't want high definition TV? Nobody! That's why you bought that big TV in the first place, right? But the thing is, plenty people got that big flat screen TV for Christmas or their birthday or whatever, but they didn't get an HD cable box to go with it. That means that they're watching this regular TV signal on their big HD TV, and it could look so much better. See, an HD image is 4 times the size of a regular digital TV image. To get true HD, you gotta have Rev TV HD to go along with your HD TV. So here's the deal. You can get a Rev TV HD box today for about as much as you're paying now for your regular digital box. And you'll only pay half the cost to access over 100 HD channels with Rev TV HD. You're welcome.
Your HD TV deserves true HD, so upgrade to Rev TV HD today for just $4.99 a month for a limited time from Rev TV. Rev TV HD, how we define TV.
A woman's half-naked body found near 2 churches.
A young child was walking this morning and attention was brought to it.
The National Security Minister visits Amsterdam to inspect multi-million-dollar Defense Force vessels. Are you financially prepared for retirement? We've got those stories and a whole lot more tonight. I'm Vonnie Toot, and MB12 Weekend starts now. Topping news tonight, dozens of people leaving a Sunday morning church service were greeted by the unusual sight of police scouring nearby bushes where the half-naked body of a woman was discovered. Jasmine Bonamy was on the scene and filed this report.
At the scene today, head of the Central Detective Unit Superintendent Paul Roll revealed that a young girl walking in the area made the discovery around 10:15 this morning. He adds that when police arrived at the scene, they met the woman's body lying in bushes. The victim was wearing a black skirt and little else.
This female is an adult female, up in her late 30s to 30 to 40 years of age. I think she was wearing a black skirt. Appears to be a black skate, and we say to persons who may have had a female relative missing, they need to come forward, come and see whether this is your relative.
Based on the stage of decomposition, Roll says police believe the victim had been dead for about 5 days. The CDU chief says police will have to perform an autopsy to determine the exact cause of death. While he would not elaborate on any visible injuries on the body, he did confirm that police are treating the case as a murder. As crime scene investigators processed the scene, scores of congregation members from Southside Christian Ministries International looked on from the church's yard just across the street. Senior pastor C. Clifford Smith says he learned about the disturbing discovery just before the start of the 11 a.m. service. He says given how busy the area is, he doubts the body had been there 5 days and went unnoticed.
I doubt that seriously, that was here 5 days. Somebody brought that here and left it. And we normally are in and out of here. And if a body would here with, and even with what I understood to be a bit of a smell to it, somebody would have stopped. There's a speed bump here. You can't go through here and not have a scent that would catch your attention coming through the corner. So
Smith added that such a discovery so close to the church was both shocking and unnerving, and proves that crime has spiraled out of control.
I came in, and I normally come in and meet with my staff before we go into worship. And while we were in the back meeting, we're processing to come into the sanctuary, and one of the senior ushers just whispered to me on the way going to the pulpit, "Pastor, they found a body across the street." And I said, "What?" And so, did anybody call the police? Did anybody? Those are my questions. And they said, yeah, the police had been called. Somebody. So, but this is when I heard about it, and it's just shocking to think of what's happening in our country and what's going on. It makes me feel I don't know what to feel, because first I'm thinking, how could somebody do something like that? You really don't know what to feel at a time like this.
Smith says they will be praying for the victim's family, adding that the church's doors are open to anyone who may need counseling. Meantime, Rolls says police will continue to hunt for the killer, but first he says they will need to identify the victim. He appealed to anyone with a missing loved one or may know something about the case to contact police at 911, 919, or 502-9991. Anonymous tips can also be phoned in at 328-TIPS. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Bonamy.
Authorities are also investigating the apparent drowning of a 4-year-old boy. According to police reports, the child was pulled from the bottom of a pool at a home in High Vista off Eastern Road Saturday afternoon. When police and EMS personnel arrived at the scene shortly after 5 p.m., they reportedly met relatives performing CPR on him. Officials rushed him to hospital where the child was pronounced dead. Police are searching for 3 gunmen who forced their way into a small hotel on Paradise Island and robbed 5 people. Authorities say the armed robbery happened around 8 last night. 3 Bahamian men and 2 Bahamian women were robbed of cash and jewelry. Police investigations continue. The first of 9 multi-million-dollar Defense Force vessels purchased by the Bahamas government is expected to sail into the Bahamas from Amsterdam within the next 6 weeks. The fleet is expected to help the Defense Force fight illegal migration, human trafficking, smuggling, and poaching. National Security Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage returned to the Bahamas today after visiting London and Amsterdam to find out how the construction of the 9 vessels is progressing.
With the contract with Damen and Van Oord amounting to some $232 million. It's extremely important that we get it right.
The National Security Minister's trip to Amsterdam and London comes nearly a month after government signed a contract with Dutch shipbuilders Damen Shipyard. A resolution was tabled in Parliament last month to borrow $232 million to order the 9 vessels and carry out ancillary civil work for the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. During a news conference held in Lynden Pinling International Airport's VIP lounge, Nottage told reporters the Arthur Dion Hanna, which is one of the 42-meter boats, is completed and will make its voyage to the Bahamas in late May.
It is in the water. It has had a series of water trials. It has been inspected by our consultant, Mr. Devaney, who is a Bahamian, a former member of the Defense Force Marines. All of its functions are working properly, and we were able to take a ride down the river. Which river is that?
I'm not sure the name.
The River Amster, or Amstel. And we are very satisfied with its performance.
A team from Damen will travel to the Bahamas on the vessel next month to ensure it doesn't encounter any problems. The second vessel will arrive 2 months later, while the third will sail to the Bahamas 2 months after that. The fourth vessel should be in the Bahamas in January 2015, while another boat will also make its voyage sometime next year. Nottage says the last vessel won't be ready until 2016. He says training is required to familiarize Defense Force officers with the new fleet. Additionally, a team of officers led by Lieutenant Commander Warren Bain has been in Amsterdam for months now, serving as the government's eyes and ears as the vessels are constructed and outfitted with state-of-the-art equipment.
That we were able to inspect 3 of the ships, which are in a reasonably advanced stage of progress, one of which is having its internal fittings placed now, that the hull has been completed. It is out of the water. It is on dry dock, I guess you can call it, with the innards being equipped. There are 2 boats that are in the water and are essentially completed.
Nottage says officials also visited Van Oord Dredging Company, which was contracted by the government to complete the expansion of 3 ports to accommodate the new fleet.
We visited them to have discussions with them about their work, which has not yet started, to finalize some matters to do with the contract. We are satisfied that the plans that they have in place and the project team that they identified to us shall start their work shortly, and we hope will be completed toward the end of next year.
The National Security Minister called it a very necessary and productive trip.
It enabled us to be able to give the government the assurance that the project is on time, that the products are consistent with what we have contracted for, and it will give those who ply our seas, particularly our fishermen and others, that in the not too distant future, certainly within the next 6 weeks, the first of the vessels will be delivered.
The National Security Minister says they also spent 2 days in London, where they visited Dartmouth Royal Navy College, which has trained officers from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. Weeks after authorities on Grand Bahama discovered nearly $17 million worth of marijuana plants on a field, Assistant Commissioner of Police Emric Seymour revealed that marijuana fields are cultivated in less populated communities, and it's a trend that he says continues to grow.
Grand Bahama is a vast land, it's a vast area, and of course there are quite a lot of undeveloped land. And so our investigation suggests that these particular criminal minds are in fact taking advantage of it. Lands that are undeveloped, that no one is paying much attention to, they think that they can go in and of course and farm, and no one would definitely know.
Seymour says the major drug finds prove police are making some headway in the fight against illegal drugs.
And so what we tend to do, and that's how this discovery was made, we tend to pay occasional visit. We do aerial patrol, where we can see exactly what's going on there. Aerial and of course mobile patrol. And this trend will continue.
Still to come on MB12 Weekend, the bar president blasts the state minister for legal affairs. Plus, more than 90% of people enter retirement unprepared. Find out how you can avoid being one of them.